What's up, guys? Dustin New here, back with some more NHL 15 stuff. And this is an interview I found from TSN 1290. It's called The Warm-Up. It is a podcast, and they interviewed Sean Ramjagsingh, who is obviously the lead developer on the NHL game. So, yeah, here it is. The link for the actual audio is in the description if you guys want to check it out. But it's basically just the same thing that I'm posting. All right, here we go.
This is Hustler and Lawless, the podcast on TSN1290.ca.
Welcome back to TSN 1290 in the Super League warm-up. As we mentioned off the top of the show, fired up for the next generation of the NHL series from EA Sports. And our old friend returns to the show, the producer for EA NHL Hockey, Sean Ramjagsingh from EA. Sean, great to talk to you again. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on again.
It's great to talk. We usually do this as the plans are coming in for the fall launch of the brand new NHL game. But I imagine this was a much busier year for you, if that's possible, with the move from the standard PS3s and Xbox consoles to the next generation of video gaming systems, the PS4 and Xbox One. Can you tell us a little bit about how it's been different for you guys in making the game and what we have to look forward to?
Yeah, it's definitely been busier. Really excited about NHL 15 and the way it's coming together. It really is for us a new generation of hockey where the sights, the sounds, and the feel of the game we can capture like never before, just because of the power of the new consoles. I guess maybe to start, people always ask me, well, what do the new consoles get you? And I guess the simple answer is it gets you more of everything. Gets you more memory, gets you more power, more calculations that we can do under the hood, the math involved to make our physics come to life. We can run more code. It just really gets us more. We can put more higher resolution textures to make our players look better. So that's, to me, what is really exciting about NHL 15, the fact that we can do more with every aspect of our game. So when we say NHL 15 changes everything, we're literally changing everything in our game.
Will there be one difference that jumps out to people when they play it on the next generation consoles the first time, or is it really just the entire NHL hockey experience is taken to a next level?
The first impression is going to be amazing because we've done so much with everything from, starting with our NBC broadcast integration. The game is going to look like what you see on TV with NBC having all the new overlays in there. And for fans of our series that have played the game year after year, new commentators is something that our fans have been asking for. So to have Doc Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk and Ray Ferraro in the game, and to do it in a way that has never been seen before in a sports video game, where we actually have Doc and Eddie recorded on green screen within our virtual environment, is something that, again, our fans are going to absolutely love. And then, we've completely overhauled all the visuals in the game as well. So starting with the player models and building those guys from the ground up, modeling the body and the equipment on top of the player, then the jersey and with the cloth technology on top of that. So when the players skate and they move, we have the cloth moving realistically, which we've never had in the past. So it really is just an overhaul from the ground up before even we get into the gameplay experience.
Sean Ramjagsingh is the producer of NHL Hockey for Electronic Arts, joining us here on TSN 1290.
Sean, the NHL EA Sports franchise has been around for over 20 years now. And I want to ask you, what's the biggest difficulty year after year, trying to keep the game fresh so consumers feel like they're not buying the previous year's version just with new rosters?
The biggest challenge every year is just trying to pack in as much stuff as we can. So because we're an iterative sports title, we know that we're going to come out every single year. So we need to start as soon as we can. Before the previous game is even on the shelf, we started thinking about, designing, writing code for the next year's version of the game, just because, as you mentioned, consumers' expectations are so high, and every day that we're not working on the game, we're not working on the next iteration of the game, is a day lost, and we're a day closer to launching the next version. So the biggest challenge is, starting early so we can get as much stuff in there for our fans to bring them back year after year.
How long has the process been on creating the first next generation game? I imagine it didn't just start as soon as you were finished NHL 14.
No. So, we knew that the next generation of console was coming. We knew that we weren't going to be there on year one of the console, which was actually really good because it allowed us to focus on delivering an awesome experience for NHL 14 on Gen 3, but also take all the learnings from the FIFAs of the world, the Maddens of the world that were there on day one. And we also work very closely with the UFC team. They sit just across the hall from us. So seeing how their game was coming together, and knowing that because we were sharing assets and sharing people, knowing that all of the great visuals, the best-in-class visuals that are going into UFC, were then going to come back over to hockey. So we started thinking about our designs, 2.5 years out, knowing that we're going to be able to leverage a lot of the learnings, a lot of the technology, a lot of the designs from the other games within EA Sports.
Sean, the NHL 15 has so many great features. You talk about be a pro mode, be a GM. I mean, are these features going to be back for NHL 15, and can we expect anything new, like those great features?
Yeah, we're going to have lots to talk about game modes down the road. So right now we're focusing on talking about the gameplay experience and the presentation experience. But as we get a little further along here, we'll start getting the details about the game modes specifically.
And I imagine online play will be a big part of the launch of NHL 15 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Without going into too much details around the online play, the new consoles are built to be online all the time, essentially. So online is critical to the experience.
Sean Ramjagsingh's with us here on TSN 1290. He is the producer for NHL games for Electronic Arts. Sean, we've talked before about all the people behind the scenes that go into making the NHL games as well as the other EA ones. I'm just wondering, did you have to crank up the staff? Was there far more hours put into a brand new console game like the NHL 15 will be, as opposed to what you've normally done for a 13 or 14, you working with the same console?
Yeah, more time, more resources, more effort goes into it, just because, with the new consoles and because we can do so much more, there's so much more that we want to take advantage of. So, guys are working a little bit harder. There's not much more we can do, and a lot of it is just, great people make great games, and it all comes from just internal motivation. Making hockey here in Vancouver is a huge benefit for us. All the guys on our team, all the girls on our team are hockey fans to start with. They're developers, but they're also consumers of our game. So when they go home, they see something on TV during the playoffs, and they come back to work the next day and say, what, I saw this in the game last night. I can do that with a little extra effort, a couple hours of effort. That's how we're able to do what we do, is just by people wanting to make the game better themselves. There's obviously the leadership direction in the high-level features, but it's the people on the floor that see the little details within the real world of hockey and bring that over to a game that allows us to do what we do.
Now, I know you will try and put everything from the National Hockey League into the game, thus the motto, if it's in the game, it's in the game. Have you been able to schedule the fact that all 3-1 leads will immediately be erased in the third period like we've seen in the playoffs?
We have to, with the way these playoffs are going, we have to write some special code to ensure that happens, yeah. Some would argue that's already in the game, which it's not.
Well, one of the things that we're really looking forward to is everything that you're able to do visually. And you talked a little bit about that off the top of the interview, but tell us a little bit about what we'll see, for instance, when it comes to NHL arenas, and maybe just speak to Winnipeg Jet fans. As a Jet fan that's played the game before, what will they get to experience and enjoy more in the new game than they would have on the old console?
Yeah, so we're in the process right now of trying to license all of the arenas. We still have some time left, so not all the deals are finalized quite yet. But with all the licensed arenas, it's really about just capturing every single detail. As you saw in the teaser trailer that we put out a couple days ago, it's every little detail from the railings to the scuff marks to the seats. We're going from 9,000 seats in each arena, which we had in Gen 3, to now with the power of the consoles, getting the 16 to 21,000 people depending on the arena in there. It's getting all the secondary characters in there, getting the ushers, the vendors, the security in there, and really bringing that crowd to life. I know that Winnipeg's known for having some of the best emotion and the best environment to watch a hockey game, and it's capturing that with our over 9,000 unique crowd models, all having separate animation to them, having that away team superfan guy, that annoying guy that we all know and love, and having him distracting parts of the crowd. It's building in all of that logic to really bring that arena to life.
Just what goes into getting that? Like, do you go there during games with cameras and special setups? What goes into capturing even one NHL arena like you want to have it captured for NHL 15?
A lot of time and effort to get great reference. First of all, the way that the arena looks and the way it's modeled is only going to be as good as the reference that we have. So it starts by getting the great reference, looking through lots of reference images as well for crowd behavior, how many people in which city are, what percentage of crowd is wearing a jersey versus wearing more casual wear. What teams travel well? You're a Montreal Canadiens or a Toronto Maple Leafs, and do you travel? And so when the Leafs are playing in Winnipeg, is it 20-25% Leafs fans in there, so we can replicate that as well? Do you have the Sea of Red in Calgary? So it's understanding what's unique to each environment, what's unique about the crowd in each environment, and then replicating that as best we can.
Sean, one of the announced new features for the new generation of consoles, or NHL and the new consoles, is the puck physics. And as someone who's played a lot of NHL 14 and the previous versions, what are some changes that the new Xbox One and PS4 have allowed you to do in regards to the new physics?
Yeah, the puck physics is a game changer for us, and when we talk about the consoles giving us more, it allows us to do more calculations, which allows us to have real physics on the puck. So modeling the puck properly, the proper shape of the puck, and then the great thing about physics is we model real world physics in our game, and then we just let what would happen in the real world happen within our game. So when a puck hits any object, let's understand what the object is, how hard the object is. Is it hitting the goalie's jersey first, and then hitting the equipment underneath, and then reacting appropriately? Already we're seeing this unbelievable emergent gameplay situations happen with the puck which have never been seen before in our game, just because it's real physics doing what real physics would do. As an example, right now we're seeing goals where you can shoot a puck just under the goalie's arm, it'll squeak through between the cloth on his jersey, and the puck is going into positions that we've never seen it go before, and the goalie's making these incredible saves that have been in the game for a long time, but we've never seen because the puck just hasn't gotten that situation. I would say the flip side, though, of making everything just emergent is we're seeing some awesome bugs with the game as well. So we first turned puck physics on in our game. A player skating down the ice and the puck would get caught, between the player's body and his arm as he's skating up the ice. So it creates all these bugs as well that we need to deal with. But that's the beauty of the emergent gameplay. You never really know what's going to happen. Your game's going to be different every single time.
Sean, this is going to be great. I guess quickly tell us about the cover vote.
Yeah, we have some fantastic talent lined up for the cover vote right now, which is live. You can go in there and vote for your favorite player. Really excited just, again, to partner with some of the young and upcoming hockey players, superstars in the NHL. And again, with social media these days, the opportunity for fan engagement and the teams to get behind players, and it's just perfect for the cover vote, which we've had great success with over the past years, and excited to see who ends up on the cover of NHL 15.
Sean Ramjagsingh's been our guest. He's the producer of NHL Hockey for Electronic Arts. Sean, always love talking to you about video games, and particularly your baby, NHL Hockey. Can't wait to see it on the PS4 and the Xbox One, and we'll look forward to having you back later on in the summer before the official launch of the game going into next season.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me on. Talk to you guys soon.
Great stuff. That is Sean Ramjagsingh from Electronic Arts. Coming up next, we hit the NFL draft. Will the quarterbacks keep dropping? And who's going number one? That's next here on the Super Loop Warm-Up on TSN 1290.
You've been listening to Hustler and Lawless, the podcast on TSN1290.ca. Catch Hustler and Lawless live weekdays at 4 on TSN 1290 and TSN1290.ca.